All right, this is the last speed bump of the Swedish old antique bicycle locks. This came from Leif in Sweden. This is kind of a cool thing. Here's the only engraving is supposed to be a tray lock, but there's no other marking. Not exactly high security, but in those days, I guess you didn't need it. The interesting thing about these are figuring out how they work. Now, I have picked one of these quite a while ago, and I did it. It's kind of like a wild monkey with a stick going after ants in an anthill, just randomly jamming picks down in there. Eventually, it sprung open. I don't feel like I really did the lock justice. And since Leif was kind enough to send me another one, give me another crack to do it right, I'm going to try to do it. Here's what the key looks like. A couple of unique things about this. It is a push lock, so I'm going to call them levers, just for the sake of argument. There's a little slot, a hole cut in it, and that's so because when you shove the key in and the lock opens, it is key retaining. Something goes up into that slot and keeps you from pulling it out. There's a little knob there because it will only go in one way. So the knob lines up with that little cutout right there. So when we shove it in there, I'm going to hold it back, get my hand out of the way. It is quite violent. So there you go. It is key retaining. And when you take the key out, you want to make sure you're not over like a snowbank, because you got to put your hand there, hold on to that key, put a string around your neck, because when you lock your bike, that thing does kind of shoot it out of there. Could get away from you. All right. How does it work? Well, let's take a look at the key. I don't think I had a key before, and this makes it kind of neat because you can see that there's a total of, it looks like four levers inside of there. We know that the center two, because those are cut different, those are probably real levers. And the ones on the sides maybe are tensioners. And when you look at it closely, you can see it's got some wear right there on that one and a little bit on the other one as well. So before I do the ultimate cheat, I dug through a box of keys that Leif sent me over a year ago. And I found two more of these push keys for this type of bicycle. This one is very close. It's not for this model. In fact, it won't even fit into the slot. But we might be able to learn a little something from it because the design is almost, and the bitting is almost identical to this guy. It's got the knob, everything lines up, the holes are about the same size. And unfortunately, when you put the keys side by side and look at those two shoulders, they're almost perfectly equal, which kind of makes me think that both shoulders could be the tensioner. So again, this is the right key, so let's set him aside. I've got another key here. This one does not go to this lock. The slot is on the wrong side. The little dimple is on the wrong side. So a lot of differences, but I'm just thinking that either this company copied from him or that company copied from them. Maybe there are some similarities. And when you hold it up there, you can see, get those top of those holes lined up. You can see that shoulder does indeed, they're equal. Whereas on the other side, the other company is quite high, telling me we've only got probably one side to tension with. So I decided to really cheat, like the ultimate cheat. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount this up in the vise because I can't hold the lock cam and focus it at the same time with just one hand. So I'm going to slide the lock cam in there and I'll overlay the video so you can kind of see what we got here. So let's slide him, come on now, right there. So there's our slot for the dimple. And we start trying to look in there. Come on now, line up, and get some focus going. On the left side, you'll notice, if I get this thing to focus, that is a ramp, and that kind of funnels your key into the back. And there's a ramp over on that side too. So that keeps your key perfectly aligned with those sliders. And when I look into the back, you can see that ramp on the left is indeed connected to that plunger. There's a plunger right there in the center, and then there's two off to the right as well. The little claw that jumps up through that hole, it's like a poisonous snake jumping up to bite that. It's right down in that crevice somewhere. I just don't have enough light to point them out. But this kind of affirms that we have at least one tensioner on the left, maybe two. So on that note, here's what I did. Let me get them out of there because I want to do this in my hand. Point this down. I built a tool, and I built it out of this. It's a windshield wiper insert. All I did, to get it to focus, He's all bent and I'll show you why in a reason, but in a moment, there's a reason. I thinned this side down, and then I wanted to keep my hand out of your way when I tried to pick this. I'm going to slide him down the side like that to where I think that tensioner is, and I'm just going to pull with my thumb. And that way, unlike the last time where I had both hands up here, like that's all you saw when I was picking, hopefully this time things will go a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to pull with my thumb, put tension on the lock. I'm going to take whatever this is, a 25 thousandth pick, and I'm just going to feel around down in there. This is locked, by the way. I'm going to feel around down in there to see if I can find the plungers and to see if they're spring-loaded or not. I'm not sure there we go, there's one. Okay, so that's, I think we got him. Let me check that one on the right. Get a little, I mashed him down a little bit. So let's go back and check the one in the middle again and the one on the left. Get on there. A little difficult keeping it lined up perfectly. You'll kind of get it cockeyed off one side or the other if you're not careful. And when it does that, it feels like it gets stuck a little bit. Where are you? You got to be close. There it is, right there, right in the center. So now we got an open. So there you go. It is basically a 3-lever and I think 1 tensioner. Maybe it is tensioned on both sides, but when you tension one side, maybe it was enough on the other. But I definitely felt the one on the far right give a little click. So it was moving in and out, and I did not feel that in and out movement on the left. So it's probably just one side. Anyway, guys, there you go. The tray lock, the last of the, well, low security bike locks from probably 1950s and 1960s from Sweden. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe. Stay legal.